of getting around so that these 14 days can just pass, and then we give some respite to the new government. You know, I mean, it wouldn't be nice the new government coming in. There are strikes here. There is this. There is that. Unfortunate, like you said.
Well, the needful has to be done. Keep the country at peace. That's the most important thing.
Oh yes, oh yes. But it doesn't look like peace is coming. Boko Haram is at it again.
Yeah, this time around 60 people, mostly suspected members of the dreaded Boko Haram insurgents, were feared dead in the clash between troops of the 7th Division Nigerian Army around Kayamula village. The fight is still on, Nigerian Army and the Boko Haram. But this time around, 60 members of the Boko Haram.
We'll just take a break, and when we return, we'll tell you more about what's happening around the country.
What up, everybody? You already know what time it is. Payback! I'll see too. Just left for a meeting. We told him we'll play some FIFA and leave later. What he doesn't know is he's getting pranked.
Me and Yusuf are meeting up later on tonight. I told him, give me a call right when you pull up so I can head on over. Where are you? Yeah, hey, I'm about to head over right now then. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Hey, set that up.
You're outside already?
Yeah, I just parked.
Alright. Open up.
Yusuf! Yusuf! Hey, body lick up! Hey! Hey, no, I got water. Why don't you flip him over? Give me water. Hey, it was good. Chill. Hey, Yusuf. What just happened? Hey, it's cool. Hey, get water! Get some water. Hey, you good? What just happened? Hey, no, hey, hold on. We were just, it was just
Bro, at least turn off the camera, please.
What's up, everybody? I know that was crazy. Yusuf's doing okay. Don't even worry about that. We're having a good time. He slept over at my place because he was a little scared to sleep at his place. Make him feel better. He was being a little crybaby. All right, guys.
I said it the other day that one day this pranks, something is going to go really, really wrong. You know, we had to take that break because we're having a little issue with the microphone. That is all sorted out now. We are going to Enugu, where the Crisis Enugu State House of Assembly, which has the speaker, the lawmakers pitched against the Governor Sullivan Chime, degenerated further yesterday as the Federal High Court sitting in Enugu threatened to commit the Inspector General of Police, IGP, to prison for allegedly flouting the court's order in the enforcement of fundamental rights matter brought before. You know, you know, the court has said that the
Yeah.
police should vacate the
premises.
assembly premises, but the police, that has not been done. They just moved away a little bit. So the court is threatening to commit the IGP to prison.
Well, I wouldn't say it's threatening. That's their job to, when you say separation of powers. I
Yes,
think this
yes.
thing should be adhered to, you know, seriously.
Nobody's above the law.
Nobody's, that's what we hear.
Nobody
it's
is
a,
above
it's
the
a
law.
talk. It's
Yes.
a talk.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, finally, the first ladies peace mission conference or gathering today.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
in
they
Abuja.
met, and the first lady, the Patience Jonathan, handed over her role as the president of the African First Ladies Peace Mission to her successor, Jadia Hamdi Mohammed, First Lady of Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. I watched it to smooth transition, you know, how much money is donations, you know, quite glaring sincerity, openness.
Well, I think it's also, you know, another exciting thing is that with all the court actions about,
Yeah.
oh, why should the First Lady host? And why not?
Why not?
She's still First Lady until 29th.
You know.
So I was really glad when I was watching, and it went so well. And we had a smooth transition.
Yeah, we just have to let, you know, peace reign.
Yes.
It's taking a different dimension. And with this, I think it was a beautiful one over there. I watched them too.
Well, let's go to the main action of the day, but that will be after this time out. Don't go away. Tight. Just hold on.
Biggest late night show.
I think the government is doing its best.
Buhari himself is an issue. Just as the Buhari organization has made Goodluck Jonathan an issue.
We have laws, we have institutions set up to fight corruption.
Advocacy for the Chibok is born out of what they symbolize.
The average Nigerian wants to know, what do you have for him?
Panika was with us for a while.
What happened?
I think he came on a journey and discovered that
You're still watching the O&M Late Show. And about 3 programs ago, I did tell you that my co-anchor, Mahmoud Akura, is in the United States on some special projects for the O&M Late Show. Of course, the result of those projects will be coming your way in the weeks to come. But on the line from Maryland in the United States is he likes to call me his tag team partner, but my dear friend, Mahmoud Akura. Mahmoud, glad to have you on the line.
Okay, I hope you're having fun with the O&M show. We'll be back shortly.
Just that I'm lonely, you know. It doesn't look good when you're alone, but I don't know if I told you when I spoke with you earlier today that Francis Duru has been standing in for you and standing in so well.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good.
And he's so excited that tonight you're not going to ask the questions, he's going to ask you all the questions. Okay, Mahmoud, we don't have too much time, but tell us what's been going on. I know you are in the Baltimore area. Well, the strikes are over. They are trying to get it all together again. Tell us what's been happening in Baltimore while you were there.
Yeah, well, look, working very hard on these projects. The project that we have trying to put together for the ORM show. But besides that, I got invited to the Maryland State House, which is in Annapolis, Maryland, to meet with the governor and company. I was actually invited by Nigerian cleric, Pastor David BME from Salvation Ministries in Port Harcourt. So I have been to the Baltimore area, and the entire place is calm now. Situation is back to normal, but it was a very, very tense one. And after everything seemed to have died down, the governor there, Governor Barry Hogan, declared the day, that was Sunday night, they declared the day of prayer and peace for the state of Maryland. And it is in continuation of that prayer and peace for Maryland that they had a launch prayer meeting with Pastor David BME, Nigerian cleric, who is a close friend of the governor.
Well, Mamode, I hear that.
I was invited.
Yeah, I hear that this Nigerian cleric was invited all the way from Nigeria to come and dedicate the state of Maryland. Is that true?
Yes, it is true. I must tell you that the governor of Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan, is a white Christian Republican, the only secular Republican to be elected governor of Maryland since 1969. It is a democratic stronghold, but he's managed to push through to become governor of the state. And he's somebody who's been close friend of Pastor BME and some sort of a spiritual advisor to him. So I invited him over with all the crisis of riots in Maryland, and then he's just assuming office. He's never held public office before. This is his third month in office with all this crisis which he had to manage, and a very delicate political balancing, because the mayor of Baltimore, Stephanie Rawlings Blake, is a black Democrat and a lady. So it was a kind of very difficult challenge for him to manage the situation in Baltimore. To be able to, have a spiritual angle to all that, there was that launch prayer meeting in the government house yesterday, which I also attended. But the governor was able to bring the riots under control by a few actions he took, signing an executive order for a state of emergency, deploying the National Guard, and then deploying about 5,000 state and local law enforcement agents to be able to bring everything under control.
Okay, Mamode.
I must tell you something very fascinating experience for me. The city of Annapolis, which is the capital of Maryland, is known as the historic city of Annapolis. Just to quickly tell you, I lived in a hotel known as the Historic Inn Annapolis. The hotel I lived in, and the room I slept in, was actually built in 1773, and it's still standing till today. It's a stone throw from the government house in Annapolis.
That's a lot of history.
So much history.
Lot of history.
So much history.
Okay, Mamode, let me ask you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you finally, because we have just about 1 minute to go. Let me ask you finally, how is the healing process going on, especially with the blacks feeling so bad that it's like this whole attack is against blacks across the United States?
Yes, well, the reason why, Freddie Gray was arrested in the first place was that they believed that he had a switchblade, which was some kind of a knife. But the Maryland State Attorney, Marilyn Mosby, later confirmed that Freddie Gray had a perfectly legal knife with him and should not have been arrested in the first place. In other words, there seemed to be some kind of, clamp down on blacks. But this is 2015, the era of cameras on telephones and everything, and a lot of people can see when things happen. If it was in the past, they would have labeled, something on Freddie Gray was a drug addict, or it was caught during a bust or something, and then the death will just have done. But this is the era of cameras; people can record a lot of things. But having said that, The 200 businesses were destroyed during the riots, but there's a lot of healing that is going on now. The governor, Larry Hogan of Maryland, last week signed 350 bills. Among them is a bill taking care of citizens as regards their relationship with police, and another bill taking care of police. You know, all that is to ensure that there's cordial relationship between policemen and citizens of the state.
Okay, Mahmoud, thanks, thanks a million. I think you had better start coming home. Because Francis is already complaining. Okay, thank you, Mahmoud. Thanks for your time. And do have a wonderful time and a safe journey back home.
All the best, bro.
Yeah, well, now we talk the family. We have Stella CHIKODI, this Women's Voice Initiative, FEMI ADENIYI, personality expert and behavioral therapist. And of course, I have Francis Duru, who is also a father. So we are going to talk.
I thought I would be the anchor
No,
person.
no, you are the anchor person. We're good. You are the anchor person. So we take a short report and then our guests will join us. Don't go away.
According to Wikipedia, the family is a group of people related to one another by blood or marriage. But to other people, the family goes far beyond the dictionary definition. Mr. and Mrs. Wenga Onyedotun got married 6 years ago and started to build their own family. A 6-year-old family may seem very young, but to this couple, the family means more than the word to them.
From our African perspective, a family goes beyond just the man and the wife and the children. It goes deep into the extended family as well.
In Africa, family is not just the husband, the wife. It's the children, uncles, auntie, everybody related to the man, to the woman, goes to grandparents and all. So in Africa, the family is a wider range.
Others who spoke to the O&M crew expressed their views on what the family means to them.
The family unit is a very, very cardinal, I think fundamental, unit of the entire society. Once we are able to get it right in terms of child breeding in the family, then you give that child such a stable and formidable future.
Well, I think the family still remains an important unit in the society, however you look at it. And even though we've seen some very strong family values being eroded.
When there is no unity in the family, that is, the both parents, they have not understanding, then it leads to broken home, and a lot of children have gone wayward.
If the family is in order, if the parents are able to put their children in order, then the nation will be in order.
The 15th of May is being observed globally as the International Day of Families. The theme of this year's International Day of Families is Men in Charge, Global Equality and Children's Rights in Contemporary Families. Somto Mbelo for the O&M Late Show.
Men in Charge, Gender Equality and Children's Rights in Contemporary Families. That's the theme of our conversation tonight. And we have Stella CHIKODI and FEMI ADENIYI, who are joining us right now.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Stella, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
FEMI, you're welcome. Please sit down. You're welcome. Well, FEMI, you are a personality expert and behavioral therapy certified.
Yeah.
But you're also a man.
Yeah.
Are we in charge?
I think in contemporary times it's very difficult to say we're really in charge. More so now that women are bringing a lot on board in terms of finances. They're also helping out with quite a number of other things. So I think, contextually, we wouldn't say men are in charge, really. I think things have changed. Men are not the only one who brings things on the table now.
But my take is, does the whole idea of the man being in charge even arise, looking at the family unit as that symbiotic relationship. Yeah, I believe it's not about who is in charge. It's all about that collective contribution towards the oneness of the family.
Yeah, I agree so much with that, because when you look at things, the way things happen, I think what makes us different is not really the gender. What makes us different is our personality. I'm talking because I'm a personality expert. Or for instance, men fly planes. Women also fly planes. So it means that the thing inside the man's brain that makes him to be able to do that is also in the woman's brain.
Okay.
So I think we have a lot to do together to build the society.
So Stella, are men in charge? I mean, for them to say this is the theme, and with a question mark actually. So I'm asking.
I think basically, marriage is about teamwork. It's about two people coming together and agreeing to build a home, to work together, you know. And to an extent, men are in charge. The man is the leader. I still hold on to the traditional norms that men are in front. They're the go-getters, they're the leaders. But then woman supports. She builds. It's more or less like the woman is the builder and the man is the leader. It's contradicting, but that's from my own perspective, you know, because without a woman, the home cannot function. A man's role in the family can never be compared to that of a woman. The woman is in charge of the home. The woman can also work. Most 21st century women these days, ladies out there, most men, no man wants a liability in the house in these days. A man wants a woman who has a vision, a woman who is industrious, a woman who can support him in so many aspects and issues pertaining to both the home and both in the society and in business as well too. You know, so to an extent, the man is in charge, but the woman supports.
Is in charge.
She's not really.
Is more in charge.
No, she's not more in charge, but she supports to a large extent.
Yeah, if you ask, okay, let me also put the question that, you know, wasn't this divinely designed
by God
to be this way?
For the women to be in charge and men pretending they are?
No, the whole idea for the man being in charge, what I say divinely designed, let's even, if we can't talk about family without bringing the whole issue religion. Look at it from religious perspective, you know, whether you like it or not. The fact is that the man is the bond servant. And if you are the bond servant, you are the man in charge. You know, the woman takes from the man. Whether the responsibilities on the woman are so much, but whether you must have a leader for decorum, you know, to persist or to exist. And the man is the one who actually charts that course.
Okay, let's leave the question of who is in charge.
Okay.
Let's look at the challenges of the contemporary 21st century family. The information overload. You know, when we were growing up, if you had a girlfriend, it was difficult for you to access this girl. You can't even call her on the phone because dad has an extension in his bedroom. But these days, you could be on the dining table with your daughter and she's pinging or chatting with a man, a total stranger she doesn't know anything about. How should families confront this big problem?
You know, I think very important, I think what we should look at here is the value systems in the home, the value system in the home. Because of this information overload, I think when children are well brought up to understand what is right and what is wrong, we can't stop them from accessing this information. But there should be something that's been instilled in them that make them to be able to know that this is right, this is wrong. And that has to be very strongly dealt with since the child is growing up. Because now we are even having issues where we can't even define what family is or marriage is again. Oh, we have all this gay and all of that. So I think, but when children are brought up properly, particularly before they are 7, 8, we're able to put them in the right course. You know, we are able to let them know that even though you are going to be exposed to so many information out there, this is right, this is wrong. I think that's one of the ways we can confront this information. It's good that we have this so much information, but it has its flip or the wrong side of it, which we have to be dealt with from the upbringing of our children at home.
Stella, what help or what advice?
Yeah, to an extent.
Because this is actually bothering a lot of families.
Families out there,
You know, about whether the kids should watch television, whether there should be a Wi-Fi at home, whether they can do WhatsApp, whether they can go on Facebook.
To an extent, I agree with him. You see, the family is the first institution that molds a child. It's the first institution that a child learns from at young and tender ages before they go out there to the society to, you know, bring in these both good and bad characters. And you cannot refrain a child from certain things that are out there and that they must see, that they must hold on to, they must be exposed to, no matter how much a parent tried. These children will definitely go to school. These children will definitely go to higher institutions. These children will definitely go to university. You need to start the work from the home. It all boils down to the upbringing, the mother and the father, how you bring up these children, the values you teach them, the cultures you teach them, the norms they get used to at that tender age before they go out there to the world. And then when they go out there, they know, oh, this is positive, this is negative. We shouldn't go this route, we should take that direction. So to an extent, it all begins from the home and how the parents bring them up.
Yeah, I like the whole idea of upbringing, you know, and from the home is one thing. I'm a father of 4.
Yeah.
I have a grown-up 17, 14, 10 and 6, and it's amazing. I've never had the opportunity of like scolding, you must do this, you must do that, you must do that. And I found out that one thing with fathers and mothers is the fact that, you know, we don't become their friends.
Sure.
And when we don't become their friends, they do things, the level of recalcitrancy gets higher. But when you are their friend, instead of you to smack that child, you let the child know that what he or she has done or wants to do is wrong. And once you give the child, reasons as to why and how, you don't need to be there anymore. So my question is, where is the place of the church and the schools too in building this same, capacity in terms of upbringing?
Yeah, but I want to emphasize very strongly the role of the family, because when you send your child to school, a lot of times now, because the parents are very busy, we expect so much from the school. Yeah, so the school has a very huge role to play because even often time now, I think they even spend longer time, even at times in school, outside of the parents. So the school that's why in schools now we have civic education, try to teach them morals so that they can be put in the right track. So the church has a role, but I must emphasize, is the family. The family is where we have that close one-on-one interaction with with the children. So parents must be very careful not to go all out looking for money and not have time. I don't think we should throw much of the responsibility to the church or to the school. The parent needs to be there when the children are growing up. And I must add also that children are different. Parents must learn how to adapt the parenting style to different children. Some children are very independent. They don't like too much of control. So such children, you just need to give them information and they work with it. While some children need some serious guidance. And so you have to stay there and ensure that you give them that guidance, because like you say, if you are not friends to them, they're going to pick friends from school and they're going to influence them. So it's very important that parents are there.
Okay. When we were playing back the little report, a couple of them talked about the traditional African family.
Yeah.
It's dying. A lot of families are becoming so independent. All you talk about is my wife, my son, and my daughter. The uncles and aunties hardly find a place in today's family. And that's the distinguishing value and difference between the African and the other people from other areas. What is happening to that family relationship outside the nuclear family?
As extended family, you mean?
Yes, the extended family, which is the strength of the African family.
Yeah, I strongly believe that the extended family definitely should not be put aside or neglected. Family has to do with the whole entity, both nuclear and extended. But to an extent, you need to concentrate and focus more on your immediate family, your nuclear family first, and then you reach out to the extended. Because there's so much issues in our culture and society about family influences, family issues, family problems, and intrusion in a marriage or in a family, you know. So there should be a boundary. That's what I believe, though. But at the end of the day, you still cannot do without your extended family.
Let me just give you the last word. You know, why I'm asking this question is that today I watched a film. It's called When He's Not a Stranger. You know, you hear about uncles raping.
Yep, I was going to say that.
And all that, you know, it's not, those filial, or I don't know the word now, relationships are not respected even in our behavior. And some people say that could be affecting the extended family. Is there some truth to that?
Yes, that could be affecting the extended family. I was going to say that bringing the uncles around, we have had stories upon stories upon stories of people who are even adults today who were harassed when they were young, and that contributed to the miseries in their homes, in their lives today. So we have to be very careful. Things are not as it is in the olden days, where we can trust uncles, where we can trust everybody. In fact, fathers cannot even be trusted now. We hear of fathers who also do such things to their daughters. So I think everybody, we have to be very alert and know what is happening. Before you bring an uncle to the home, be careful. Before you send your child somewhere, be careful, because you are going to be responsible for whatever happened to those children.
Okay. We wish we had more time,
Yeah.
but we don't. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. This is just a little gift for you to keep on your table. I was a guest on the O&M Late Show. And Stella?
Thank you very much for having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
When we return, we'll be talking to that Nollywood heavyweight, EJIKE ASIEGBU. Don't go away. It's the O&M Late Show, and we are on the sofa, and joining us on the sofa is Nollywood heavyweight.
Well, it's a weight.
EJIKE ASIEGBU. EJIKE. Good to see you.
Same here, thank you.
Rabbi.
Thank you, Francis. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say Nollywood pioneer, because that's what you are, what actually you are. The Nollywood you guys started, because I remember seeing you on Living in Bondage. Was it?
Not Living in Bondage.
Not Living in Bondage, but you were around as it started. The Nollywood, it wasn't even Nollywood then. The industry, you guys pioneered. Do you look back and say, oh, we've done well?
Well, very quickly, certainly, when some of us reflect at how we began or how it all started, well, we don't have regrets, but we wish that things were normal. We wish that the present practitioners are able to also listen to some of those key advice that we give. For example, you mentioned Living in Bondage. Yes, I attended the audition of Living in Bondage, but because I had to also take my exams as at the period it was being shot. A lot of us also took part in so many of those early movies, which, you know, at the end of the day, some of us could not take part. For example, you are aware that I was even in Things Fall Apart. I was part and parcel of Things Fall Apart with my peers, like Kanayo, and the rest of them. But again, ADENIYI, who was also the producer, we took part in some of those old movies, early plays and movies. which we had in those periods. But for example, sometimes we look at it, so much has happened, but again, we can take some positives from some of those things which we did, and at the same time, look at what the younger ones are doing now. And progress has been made, there's no doubt about it.
You know, you're supposed to be leading.
What questions do you want me to ask in EJIKE? I wish I was not even on this sofa. Because let me take the lead from you. When he gets there, I know what to ask. But I think just like he said, the point is, they set a beautiful platform, not just, right there in the university. We met them, and they handed to us that, baton of discipline.
Okay, so what has happened to that discipline? What has happened to that passion? Please, I'm not sounding immodest, but I also played with the greats. Kanayo, Chiwetalago. Those were the people I started acting with in the 80s. Even though I chose a different path, I went to broadcasting. But you saw a lot of passion. For instance, when we started acting at the NTA then, we were paid 2.50 kobo for an episode of
At Enugu.
At Enugu, yes.
We started together.
You understand what I mean? But today, your younger colleagues, they want to ride jeeps after just one appearance on a film. What has happened to that passion, which drove the older guys that didn't have all the wherewithal that we have today?
Yeah, we must make a distinction from the fact that back in the days, as we say in theater, the show must go on, and the kind of upbringing and understanding that we had about this profession is the fact that you have to make people, enjoy what you are doing.
Art for art's sake.
Yes, for art's sake. But again, it comes with its own responsibility. I have always said that I believe in the fact that one that works must also be paid. Artistic excellence. But again, it has to come with your survival. So much has been said. But okay, for example, a lot of my colleagues that some of us you see today, when you see them, you shudder. You say, what a parody. Some of these great names, and they hardly can even feed. Some of them don't have cars. Some of them have not even built their own homes, and you're beginning to wonder. But some of the young ones came at an era that things had already, some of us have laid down, we've paid the supreme sacrifice for some of them, which we don't have any regrets. But again, they are lucky to come of this age where people are beginning now to be awoken to the realities of enjoying and accepting the fact that what we are doing is great and money is involved. So some of them have benefited. Sometimes we wish we could rewind the hand on the clock. But again, we are also beneficiaries to an extent. So it doesn't really matter. But again, it comes with the whole idea about movie making has to come with new technologies, learning the art properly, and also understanding and taking it further, making sure it becomes thoroughly professional. Some of them do not accept. They're doing their own things in their own way. And of course, now with the coming of social media, so much has happened.
Yeah.
It has opened quite bigger space, and things are beginning to get better.
And what's this sudden craze by the movie stars and industry greats? What's this craze for politics?
Yeah.
A lot of, I'm just asking because
we're living in a society.
Because a lot of you almost became members of the PDP or members of the APC.
Okay, let me quickly take that. Even in America, even in Europe,
yes,
I don't think you have to take it against.
No. I'm not. I'm asking.
Well, yeah, sure. Yeah, I accept. I accept, no doubt. A lot of people, we have rights.
This man still does not understand that he's an anchor. He wants to answer my question.
Well, we must understand that we live in a society that, of course, we are also part and parcel.
Okay.
Some people might want to say, hey, you guys are role models, you don't need to do that. Our roles are intertwined. You can vote for somebody and be voted for, and you can take part in politics. But having said that, I must say with all sense of modesty, the way some of our colleagues actually went about it wasn't as respectful as the society.
They crossed the line.
There's no decorum. Some of them crossed the line, I must say. But again, for crying out loud, we must also give it to the president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, because for the first time in Nigeria, he was one that he took it by heart and ensured that he looked towards the development of the industry. And I make bold to say that. That was a former president of Actors Guild of Nigeria. Without mentioning names, I had the opportunity of visiting the then president. And there was so much, even though Obasanjo wanted to do something for the industry. I remember visiting him at the villa and also told him some of the plethora of problems that the entertainment industry had. And promises were made, but unfortunately, those things could not happen. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan came, he understood the industry, right from the time he was the deputy governor to governor in Bayelsa State, and then became vice president, and he has always had this appetite and passion for the entertainment industry, to which we must remain grateful eternally to him for having supported the industry with the $200 million which he gave to us, and also the $3 billion which has generated not only employment but has been able to turn around the industry. And so we must give kudos to him for that. But having said that, now that we have a new administration, it is incumbent on us to also the challenges even on the new administration, because President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has done so much. So there are so much expectations. Okay, hello, what's he going to do now for the industry? So there must be continuity. So, and we are willing to also collaborate with this present government in ensuring that, of course, we make the industry better and ensure that we continue to champion the cause of entire development of this country.
Okay, where do we go from here? You're like a veteran now. You know, you're looking at the crystal ball. Where is this industry going, and what should be the guidelines as we move to whatever place you think we should be?
Well, so much has been done, particularly in this digital age. And if you look back at some of the movies that were shot previously, when we are starting, and the development, our rise from shooting from VHS, VHS camera to U-matic, and now we have the red hairs, we have so much that has happened. This is the digital age. So there must be continuous training and retraining of members. There must be a lot of interventions, particularly, both on the part of sponsors, independent sponsors, and also even within us as well. Government has done now, we must also give credit, and we must praise the Bank of Industry for also coming out with another intervention fund for the industry. All these are very necessary and important. But for those of us who are practitioners as well, we must not miss it. We must be able to understand that we are not only role models, that we must be able to continue to do that responsibility to government in terms of engagements and writing the right stories that are more educative, and stories that can make people to actually accept and learn new things that border on who we are as Africans. So a lot more can be achieved through such partnerships, and we can say hooray at the end of the day.
Thank you. So we need to thank you for coming.
Robert.
Thank you.
Okay.
Francis will give you a little token.
Thank you.
We hope you put it on your table.
That's on your table. You want to drink coffee, tea with it? You want to
Lovely.
keep it as a memorabilia any which time?
Thank you very much.
And just before you go, maybe we should just say good night.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We thank EJIKE and all our guests, and I thank Francis. He's still with me until Felix is back. I'm not letting you go. I'm Obiorilo from Abuja, Nigeria. Thanks for joining us, Francis.
A pleasure too. It's been a wonderful time. Student of the O&M.
We'll do it again on Tuesday.
God bless you.